Welcome back, learners, in another section of psychological tests used in selection process. In the last lecture, we have seen the importance of psychological tests and why they are conducted, what kind of tests they are conducted. They conduct. In this lecture, we are going to get deeper into those tests and know what kind of tests they are, what are the names of those tests, why they are used, what they give, and also we are going to know some parentheses, that is some challenges or questions those are coming in the picture while taking these tests or even designing this test. So let me start with the parentheses. The first question that comes in the mind of the managers or whosoever is conducting this test, he has to know how to identify the construct of this selection process. On what basis we will select the people. It may be interview, it may be their knowledge skills, it may be their ability to deal with the complex situations in the organization and so on. So what exactly you need, that will depend upon what for which position you are going to take the interview or for what position you are going to select the candidate. Suppose we are selecting a candidate at a higher position or a position of team leader, then what are the attributes you want to know about the person? So those attributes, who will tell you those attributes? You will ask the person, he will give the ideal answers because one needs the job, right? But there can be manipulation, so we say that the ill information can be possible from the candidate. To avoid that and to identify that, some tests are designed and those are taken. So the first thing is how to identify the construct. Once the construct is identified, the second question comes as taking tests. So they are designed and they are used. Some parentheses are whether to report these tests to the managers and that is the abilities and personality of the person. Shall we tell those results to the manager? Are they needed, or we can just tell the manager whether who person is eligible or who can be eliminated, right? Next question is whether to preview the results of the test before interview. So this question comes because if you are the person who is conducting the tests and your manager is one who is going to take the interview of the applicant. So if you tell the results of the test before the interview to the manager, his set of questions in the interview might change. He might be prejudgmental, and on the other side, it is also beneficial to tell the manager because as based on the test, he can design his questions so that the test results can be cross-checked or identified or validated. So it may be both the situations. So what will be the better situation, that has to be analyzed by the manager, and then only the manager has to be shared. But so far we do not go for this. The test results are not shared with the managers at the prima facie. Fine, because it usually subconsciously affects his prejudgments. Now, how to combine the test scores and interview scores? So the test scores can be kept aside and kept secret until and unless the interview scores are revealed. So once the interview scores are given and the test scores are also obtained, they can be combined together to give a total score. Now this is a complex procedure and the experts of the psychology do this. So I am not going to cover that in this lecture. Then the question comes whether to give hiring recommendation based on these test results. So when we combine the test to the total score, is that total score telling you that this person is able to hire or not? So is it the only test that can decide, or are there any other sources which can be a base to decide this? So let me tell you one thing, this is not going to be only source to decide. So the hiring cannot be done only based on these scores. So these are some of the questions those have to be answered when you are taking the test. Yes, as we have seen in the last lecture, the reliability and validity are always there. So standardization is also there. So when you take the test, there has to be some norms which have to be followed. This is done because if I take any test on person A and my colleague takes the same test on the person A, the result should be same. Or even the person A gives the same test today and 1 month after, the results has to have least variations. This is because the test is reliable. If the test is not reliable, if the test is not validated, so it will give you various results. Sometimes even the knowledge of the person about the test may help him to manipulate the answer or idealize the answers. So he can give false or idealistic answers to the test because he knows that this test will give him etc. results. So that is the reason these tests are not talked about very openly to the prospects who are going to appear for the test. Yes, the instructions, the prerequisites of the test have to be communicated. So these paracases has to be answered or solved. Now what are the tests? Those are helping to solve these questions. First, ability test. The ability test is the general aptitude test, or you can check the ability of the person depending on job profile requirement in terms of whether these are very basic. So is he having verbal ability? Is he having the general knowledge about the things? Is he having basic numeric ability to calculate the things? These are very common things. So in numerical ability, you can say whether he can calculate average, simple multiplications, divisions, addition, subtraction, etc. So very basics can be identified with these ability tests. They can be enhanced with the content with respect to the need of the job. Second is job knowledge test. So job knowledge tests are, as the name suggests, very simply, the questions related to jobs can be framed and those can be asked in the interview or in the test. So job related question may be if somebody is appearing for or applying for the KPO or BPO job. So those are generally done on the computers. So he must have the basic knowledge of MS Office or Excel for that matter. He must know how to read the pie charts, how to generate the reports and so on. So these are just basic. So if we are hiring someone for accounting jobs, he must know the basics of accounting, the journal entries and how to balance the balance sheets and etc. So techniques or methods required for a particular job can be tested here. So the test will have only questions related to that particular job. This is the job knowledge test. Third is personality test. Here we are very much interested to know because many times we are also interested to know our own personality. So these personality tests are very sensitive because these have to have some standards, norms, some prerequisites as well as these have to be carefully administered so that there should not be any manipulations by the candidates while appearing for the tests. There are multiple personality tests, but here I have mentioned two of them which are very popular and many of the organizations are applying them or using them as a tool. One is Raymond Cattell's 16PF, which was the foundational personality test about 16 personalities. Raymond said that he identified there are 16 factors which come in combination makes one personality. Those 16 factors, I have listed some of them. Those 16 factors tell you about how is the aggression level of the person, whether he is calm or whether he is aggressive, how is the social boldness, whether he is socially withdrawn or a very socially outgoing person. Is his personality is dominating personality or submissive? Is he self-reliant, or if the person is prone to take tensions and tense personality or very open personality? And openness to change, how much adaptive that person is. So these qualities are somewhere required by the jobs to be done. Some jobs may require some of the sides of the personalities, and this is how they count. So usually there is a questionnaire designed with less or no human interference. Those tests are administered by the observers and experts, and the results are again cross-checked by asking them certain questions and also telling them the results of the questions in the form of feedback, or telling them that okay, your personality test is showing this is personality, so do you have resemblance or any such events which may tally this. This can be asked. So the recruiters can use this test to find the best suitable fit for them. Similar type of test is Myers-Briggs test of intelligence, which is again talking about these 16 factors segregated into 8, 4 and 4. So the first factor, let us see here what this is talking about. So first factor tells us how a person manages the energy of him. So introversion and extroversion. So introversion people are managing their energies by accumulating it with lesser contact with the people. They are less expressive, and it is by choice they are less expressive, and also they have the ability to be very, very focused, and some writers, researchers can be found with the introversion personality. And there is extroversion personality, which is very social, outgoing, and we can say that they are people who deal with the large group of people. Second, now this is about the energy, how person manages the energy, whether introversion or extroversion factor is there. Second question is how a person processes the information. So there is also personality type defined by the process of information. What is the style of processing? So is he sensing or intuition? So people sometimes sense, means they are called as practical people who will do all the logical things, calculations, and they will say, okay, it makes sense to take this decision or not. And some are intuitive. I felt, so I went there. I'm feeling this, so I'm deciding to open up a new shop without any study. So they might be some intuitive people. So, but intuition also gives a benefit of creativity. These people are highly creative, and sensing people are highly practical. So practical versus the creative personality is shown, or can be identified the MBTI model. The next is how they make the decisions. How they make the decisions. So decision making base of the person is thinking or feeling. Does he make the decisions by thinking, or just because he feels he decides? So the thinkers are logical thinkers, while the feeling people are more emotional people, less sensitive, more emotions. They base their decisions on the feelings they are having at that particular point of time. Next is factor how people approach the structure of anything. So there are two approaches. One is judgmental or judging approach, and another is perceiving approach. So judging approach, the people are very perceiving. Again, they are practical, and these perceiving people are calm-minded, and they take their decisions by the information or experience they have perceived. So this is how Myers-Briggs 16 personality factors helps the organization as just a tool to to know about the person's possible personality that can be identified by these tests. There is also one more personality test or a base of it, and that is called as the Big Five, very popular Ocean test, which talks about 5 dominant personalities, and those are openness, conscientiousness, extroversion, agreeable, and neuroticism. So neuroticism is where the person is behaving neurotically, that is, he is becoming more insistent on doing something without any thinking. So many of the times the neurotic behavior is also identified or is similar to insanity. Fine. So these are personality tests. Let us talk about now cognitive ability test. Cognition is the ability of the person to understand anything at the first place. So how a person understands anything is his cognition ability. So MOCA is one of the tests, which is Montreal Cognition Assessment Test, and this test usually includes the questions related to test whether the person has memory, so whether he can memorize something he read or saw, how he identifies the images, how he portrays them into his mind, and whether he is able to copy the same thing, that can be identified. So when we say that there is a cognition ability, that means the test scores of these parameters will be high. And there is intelligence, emotional intelligence test. So that is MSc ETI, which was developed by 3 people, Meyer, Salovey, and Caruso. So it is called on their names, that is Meyer, Salovey, and Caruso's emotional intelligence test. This talks about the person's emotional ability to deal with his own emotions and others' emotions, to understand his own emotions and understand others' emotions, and also the understanding of rational and irrational behavior for himself, and also how to cope up with that. So there are students, there are a variety of tests available and developed over a period of time. These are suitably used according to the job profiles requirement. This you have to remember very well, that as per the job profiles requirement, the test is selected. As per the job profiles requirement, test is selected, because it has to have objectivity. What is your objectivity? What you want to know, that has to be identified by that test. And whatever you want to know is definitely the basis for the job profile. Fine. So overall, these are some of the tests I have covered here. So why these tests are used by the organization? Last thing what I am telling you, please understand and remember, there is an increasing practice of using this test, because all the organizations nowadays want to attract and retain their people. Over the period of time, the companies have understood that the iteration rate or employee turnover rate, if it is higher, it is not good for the organization. It has to invest a lot of money into their selection and training procedure. So what they want is to retain these employees if they are having an excellent talent. Second, the use of test is also considered as the best practice for the organization, that is giving them the credibility and also developing a competitive advantage, competitive edge for them. It avoids the ill information given by the candidate, so you can cross-check whether he is telling you the truth or not. And also KSAs and job applications are being tested. So KSAs are knowledge, skills and abilities. So these tests are helping the recruiters to know whether the person has the ability to perform the job. That is, whether he has that particular skill, knowledge and ability required for the job. So this is all about tests. You can explore more tests, and until and unless I bring you the next management lesson, keep watching and keep learning. Thank you.